Hey YouTube, this is Dave at Richter Scale Studios. This is part 2 of my Ogryn project. Obviously I haven't finished the Ultramarine Sergeant yet, but I got on this roll for this. I've been working on this for hours. Excuse, that's my dog's barking at probably nothing in the dark. Since you've seen the base last, I gave that last little twirl. I had that blue tack little wall put together with the light diffuser. Well, I decided to change a little bit of the stuff. Since it's such a small relative project, instead of using that stamp method, I'm cutting individual bricks out. These are 1 inch by half inch bricks, I believe. Yeah, half inch by half inch, but then 1 inch long. I'm doing those individually. And then I'm going to use some, pardon me, real quick. And this is liquid nails. That's upside down, but I'm going to use that as a mortar. So I think it'll nice and glue it together nicely and give it a mortar look too. So I got maybe, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so, maybe a dozen bricks cut. And I got some more styrofoam ready to go if I need it. So you see it all over there. And I got the light diffusers. I'm still contemplating on the size of the window frames and maybe put some fake glass in there. And oh, I took to the flooring itself. It's underneath this thing, something pumping it. You see the base that's been epoxied in, and a little hole from the drill when I drilled it out has been epoxied, so it's nice and smooth and flush. And then I took a razor saw to do a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch tile in the floor, so it gives it a nice solid floor look. And then I took some floral wire, made rebar out of it. So that's just going in random little areas, well, not random areas, but like it's broken off in some places, and most of it like came out of the hole completely. So you'll see that layer. And then you have this, like the subterranean layer of sewer pipes, water pipes, and maybe these are data cables coming through. You see that? So they kind of match on each side. Just something to give a little more interest to the bottom of the base. And then that'll fix there. What I might do real quick, excuse me for the delay. I went to Harbor Freight and bought a bunch of those little work brushes. This is like a little brush, and this is kind of cool for adding texture to make this look like earth. You can just take this and just do random things with it, and it doesn't. If you do it the correct way, just kind of in a random pattern, it'll give it more of a rough, like earthy look, and take away that smooth styrofoam texture. Then we can hit it with some probably latex paint. We'll airbrush it on or spray gun it on, whatever I get to first with it. So that'll give it a little more interest and a little more texture. So this looks like someone like took a pie cut, like went to the ground and just cut it out like a piece of pie out of a pie. And then we'll attach the ruins to it. So we'll continue on with part 2. Excuse me kicking the camera. I've been doing that all lately. Been out of practice a little bit, but I'm actually getting back in my groove. So when we come back, I'm gonna get these bricks mortared on. I'm gonna do it off camera. It's real simple. I'm just gonna do a little paper plate full of liquid nails. Or maybe when I'll come back, I'll show you how to do a couple of them, and then we'll go from there. Thank you for joining me. Hey, I'm back. What I just did, I took some of the cement, or I keep forgetting what the stuff's called. Like I'm looking at liquid nails. Shot it into the paper plate there. I'm using it as a mortar for the bricks. So you can see I laid down. I got 1, 2, 3, 4.5 bricks laid down. Damaged that one. It looks pretty good so far. And I'm just going to throw this top one on. And we're doing a staggered brick, so you know it's something probably standard in brick laying. So we see we have the joint there between the two bricks, and this one will cover it. And then I'm using a piece of flat styrofoam to line it up, and there you go. That's basically what we're doing. And now we'll probably put the windows in, because I want these not to be too big. Okay, one big window there. And maybe just like a half a window or something we'll see. I'm still, I haven't even done it. I'm just kind of going along with this, how I feel, how it should work. So I want some good brickwork in here too, because I don't want to lose the bricks. Maybe a quick brick real quick. Sanding it off these little edges. I was using a kind of a dull knife, but the thing I like about the dull knife is it gives the brick some texture and looks some wear to it. So like this brick is going to touch that and go on the bottom there, so we're going to coat the bottom of it and the side. That was the side, obviously. To the bottom. It's okay to get me a little messy because we want some texture and stuff to make this look like a really ancient building. And make sure it's really critical that you get your measurements pretty dead on, because you don't want the bricks to be that, especially when you're laying windows. And I think we might just put one big window in and cut one down to almost nothing. So I really want to get some more of this brickwork in. So that's it for the update right now. When I come back, we'll have the windows in and the bricks done, and this will be ready for some goop or some filler or something like that to give it a little more texture to it, and then we'll go from there. Thank you for joining me. Hey, we're back, and we're going to end part 2 right here. Got all the bricks done. See if I can pull this up to show it to you. Get some good lighting. Decent. Let's see, let's find some okay lighting in here. Let's see. There we go. As you can see, the mortar, it looks pretty good. That's all the liquid nails. And I made sure it didn't looks like it's old. So it's like, coming out in places, it's missing, the air's gotten to it, or the elements have gotten to it and torn it apart. I don't know if this is a blown out building or an abandoned building. We'll see where we go with it from here. This window pane might be trimmed down. I think it's just a little too dominating right now. And I didn't put a brick there, so I might trim. I'm going to wait for this to dry, then trim it out. And I think that the hand-hewn brick look turned out pretty nice. Then I took that steel brush I showed you from Harbor Freight and took that in here, so it looks like looks like soil. So I think that's what that'll be. And because you have a subfloor and you have 2 other floors here, you have like a foundation and 2 other floors. I think those are pretty much to scale. Just go in here, anything that looks smooth, take it apart, so I don't have to add any more texture to it except for the paint itself. And I'll hold the texture nicely. And I think these bricks will turn out nice too. They look very hand-hewn. And then you have this, oops, let's bump this. This stuff is still very wet. Be careful of that. That's the liquid nails. So keep that going. So as usual, thank you for joining me. We'll see you in part 3. Possibly have this all primered up. I'm going to primer the base up because I might put the Ogryn and pin him onto it and start getting him ready to paint. So, well, actually, I'll probably just pin him on it right now, then prime it. Well, I'm going to prime it now because I have that one little hole. I see how that's going to work out that I filled in with epoxy. So we'll see you in the next one. As usual, thank you for joining me, and